Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm excited to be doing our Facebook Live today with our Creative Escape Challenges. I'm just going to kind of give it a minute here and let everybody round up their stuff and join us here on live. Hope that you guys are having a good day and that everything's going well, that you're all healthy. Got some beautiful sunshine here in Kansas today. A little overcast at the moment, but glad to be having some warmer weather. So I'm excited to be doing our first Creative Escape with you today. This one's going to be on our Spring Drawing Challenge theme. So if you haven't had a chance yet, there's a link in the description for you to find the drawing challenge that we're going to be working on and all kinds of spring-related ideas that are on there. So we'll give people just a couple of seconds here to join us. If you're working on it, grab your pencil and paper, maybe a cup of coffee or something, and find some relaxing music you can turn on. And we're going to get started here in just a second, okay? All right, well today I've been kind of thinking about what to draw with you, and I thought we might do a little Easter bunny holding an Easter egg with a tulip and a little Easter basket. So I hope that sounds like fun for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my paper around here so you guys can see. Sorry, turn the camera around so you can see my paper here. Hold on a second. And put you in the holder. All right, hang on just a second here. Make sure we get you in a good spot so you can see what we're gonna do. All right. As I said, if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and grab a piece of paper and a pencil. And we're gonna go ahead and start with our little Easter bunny. So first thing we're gonna do is start with our little Easter bunny's head, okay? Making sure I'm on the screen there. All right, so when you do our little Easter bunny here, we're gonna start with just kind of a semicircle for the top part of his head. And as we're getting started here, give yourself permission to just relax, have some fun. Give yourself permission to fail if you need to. That's completely fine. You know, what I would love is for this to be a stress-free, judgment-free zone for you, okay? So just relax and let's have some fun, okay? All right, so once you've got the little semicircle for the top of the head here, then we're going to give our little bunny some chubby cheeks, okay? So bring him around here. And I would recommend as you're drawing to just kind of start real lightly so that if you want to erase later, you can do that, okay? And we're going to do kind of a semicircle on this side as well. Oops. Try to line it up with the other one. Okay. Here we go. And then we're going to give him a little chin here as well, okay? Here we go. All right, I'm going to erase my little sketch here and touch up that line. Okay. And then we're going to start working on the outline of where the eyes are going to go, okay? So we're going to give him a little bit of like a white mask, I suppose you'd say, white face. So kind of around here, we're going to do the arch for one eye, so the top half of an oval, and then give it a little space in between. And we'll do the top half of another oval here. And we're going to connect those two with a little curved line here, kind of the bridge of his nose, okay? And then we're going to bring this out to the edge of the face. Okay, so we're going to curve it around and make it get a little more narrow as it comes over to the side here. And actually I think I'm going to drop that down in here just a little bit. So I'm going to adjust my line. Okay. Completely fine to make mistakes and need to make adjustment. That's a lot of what art is, you know. All right. And then we're going to repeat that over here on the other side as well. Okay. So we're going to curve this over to the edge of the face and try to drop it down in about the same spot as you did on the other side. So, you know, feel free to glance back and just kind of double check and see if you got where you wanted to be. If not, make an adjustment. Okay. All right, how's your bunny looking? I think I'm going to make this a little wider right here. All right, make that eye space just a little bit bigger. There we go, a little more even. All right, how's yours looking? Again, give yourself permission for it to not be perfect. It's completely fine. Just have some fun, a little stress-free relaxation for us here, okay? All right, so next I'm going to work on some eyes, the inside of the eyes. So I'm going to do an oval kind of here, and then do another oval here, about the same size as the first one if you can. Okay. And then inside of there, we're going to do the colored part and the black part of the eye. So we'll do the colored part here, and we're going to leave some of that white space showing. So roughly a circle or an oval about like so. And we'll do the same thing over here on this side. And then at the bottom of that, we're going to do a smaller circle, and that will be the black part of the eye. Kind of like so. Make yours as big or as small as you want. You know, if you want to see a bunch of colored space in the eye, well then make the black part smaller, and maybe even make the white part a little smaller too, okay? All right, give you a second to catch up there. All right. Okay, and we're going to save some eyelashes here for just a little bit later. And let's maybe go ahead and add some eyebrows while we're working on it here, okay? So we're going to make the eyebrow kind of curve around the top part of the eye here. And then we're going to echo that shape. We're going to be really narrow at the corner, make it a little wider at the middle, and bring it more narrow again. So kind of like a crescent moon shape that's on its side, yeah? Okay, all right. And then we're going to repeat that on this side. And if you want to offset it even just a little bit, so maybe that eyebrow is a little more over to the side, feel free to do that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Make yours skinnier if you want to, or fatter if you want to. There's no right or wrong here. It's just kind of whatever you're feeling, okay? All right, and then let's start working on, oh, you know what, I forgot. Let's do some little lines underneath his eyes right here to just help accentuate the curve of his cheek a little bit there and the bump of his face. So let's try that. There we go. Okay, and you know, I think I'm going to go ahead and pencil in the eyelashes, and maybe we'll come back and darken those later if we get out our colored pencils. So we're going to start at the top part of the eye and do just a curved line like so. So you're going to dip down just a little bit and then up, and dip down and up, and you make those as long as you would like, okay? I kind of like to make the first one a little shorter and then the outside one's a little bit longer. Okay. How you guys doing? Hope yours is coming along well and you're pleased with it so far. Okay, so then we're going to add a nose for our little bunny, and it's going to be kind of a triangle shape, but we're going to make the top part curved a little bit, and you can make it as big or as small as you want to. I think I'm going to make mine a little on the bigger side this time. Okay, and we're going to round the corner and bring it to a point. Okay, and round the tip and back up to this side and around again. Okay. And then we're going to work on giving our bunny a little smile and a mouth. So we're going to start kind of maybe lined up with the center of the eye right here. And we're going to do just a smile to start with, like so. Okay. Maybe put a cute little curve at the end of each line there, at the end of the line there. And then on the bottom, we're going to bring this down, kind of give him an open mouth here, kind of like that. And maybe we can see his tongue right there, okay? So curved lines here and a straight one down the middle, huh? Ah, look at that. All right, and then we're gonna bring a little line from the bottom of his nose down to his lip, okay? So it looks like that little, I don't know, muscle or whatever that is right there that splits, okay? All right. So now let's maybe look at doing some ears. How are you guys doing out there? Shall I give you a minute to catch up? Hope you're having fun. Again, stress-free, judgment-free, erase when you need to. Perfectly fine. Just have some fun, okay? All right, well, with our ears then, we're going to start just off of the center just a little bit. So maybe lined up with this little oval on the inside edge of his eye. So maybe right here, okay? And I'm going to do a little bit of a dip, and then I'm going to take it up and curve around. And you make your ear as big or as small as you want to, but we're going to curve this, let's see, all the way around here. And notice how I'm kind of sketching and working out my shape. That's completely fine. You do it however works best for you. And then go back and erase what you don't need, yeah? All right, so we're going to give it like a nice rounded shape here. So his ear's going to be folded over is kind of the idea. Okay, and bring this line up and stop before you get to the top there, okay? And then we're going to come back over to his head and work around his head, oh, maybe that far. And then we're going to curve this line up to there. And then the inside here, we're going to draw the pink part of his ear now, okay? So we're going to bring this over to the fold and this line over to the fold. So you're making a really narrow oval right there, but stopping when you get to the fold of his ear, okay? Go back and maybe darken up the part that you like and want to keep. And anything that you don't, feel free to lightly erase and get rid of some of those excess lines there, okay? And again, go back and darken your line if you need to. Okay. All right. So we're going to do the same thing over here on this side then. Curve our line up and around. And when I do this, I always like to look back and reference my first ear that I did and try to get that same height. And if I got a little too tall, well, just bring it back and shorten it up and we'll erase later, yeah? Nothing wrong with that. And if his ears are a little lopsided, well, that's okay too. Maybe it just makes him a little cuter and adds to his charm. Nothing wrong with that either, huh? All right, so kind of back up towards there. Go back, clean that up just a little bit. And then we're going to finish the inside of the ear. So a line there. And then we'll do the pink part of the ear. There. And from that tip, back out to there. Yeah? And erase what you don't need. All right. Here we go. All right, how you guys doing out there? Hope your bunny's coming along well. All right, so before we do the bunny's body, we're going to start with the egg, so we can kind of work his body around the egg shape. So he's going to be holding this egg, okay? And you get to decide how big the egg is going to be, but I'm going to start it just below his chin and right here. And then I'm going to maybe give myself a goal of where I want my egg to stop, okay? Maybe right down here. I'm going to scoot this up just a little bit so I make sure I stay on the screen for you. All right, so then we're just going to do basic egg shape. So a little more pointy at the top, a little more rounded on the bottom, and feel free to kind of adjust as you go. Okay, so I'm not sure I got this other side quite as wide as I'd like, so we're gonna just mess with it here a minute until we get it. Here we go. Just adjust that shape until you're happy with it. Okay? All right. So that's going to be our egg, and we'll come back and decorate our egg a little later, okay? But let's maybe continue working on our bunny and give him some arms, shall we? Okay, so about the point where his chin turns into his cheek, this little divot right here, that's where you want his shoulder to start to come out of, okay? So we're going to do just kind of a curved line off this direction. And then I'm going to come over to the other side and do the same thing. Again, just a curved line off this direction. Okay. All right. And then we're going to turn that, give him a little elbow, and we're going to bring that back towards the egg where we start to work on his little bunny paw. Okay. And at the end of that line, we're just going to draw through the egg right now. We're going to put three little paws on there, three little knuckles or toes, I guess you would call it on his paw, wouldn't you? Three little toes on there. And then bring that line back up and in and stop right there. And then we'll see if we can repeat on the other side. So when I'm trying to match things and make them a little more symmetrical, I'll draw a line across the bottom here and try to just, imaginary line across there, or actually draw it and you can erase it later, and that kind of gives you a goal to shoot for. And maybe do the same thing with his elbow. Where does that elbow need to curve? Okay, so again, we're going to kind of angle down, hit that turn on the elbow, and angle in back towards the egg a little bit, and then get our three little toes on there as well. Okay. And there again, maybe we need a little reference point for where we're supposed to stop with that paw. So a little toe there, little toe there, and bring that line on in and up that direction, okay? All right, give you a second to catch up with me, and then we're going to do some erasing. All right, so once you get your paws kind of happy and you're happy with where they're at, go ahead and erase the egg that goes through them. And erase any reference lines that you put in there as well, okay? And again, anytime you do reference lines, you want to make sure that you do that real lightly so that you can erase it and it doesn't leave like a ghost line for you. Does that make sense? All right, give you a second to get that done, and then we'll start working on his bottom feet. How about that? Okay, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to type those in there, and I'll see if I can figure out how to read those on my cell phone here as we're drawing. Okay, all right, so we're going to work on some feet next. Touch up the egg here. All right, so I'm going to start his toe on his foot kind of up here. So I'm going to just give myself a little starting point. And then down here on the bottom part of the egg, his heel is going to peek out right about here, okay? So we're going to be narrow at the bottom, at the heel of his foot, and then we're going to kind of spread out as we come towards the toe, and then dip around this way and put three little bumps on the end of it. Connect with that one that you made coming off the egg to start with, And there's a foot. And you can make those toes as pointed or as flat as you want. Maybe make some bigger than the others. Maybe the middle one's the smallest and the outside ones are big. Entirely up to you. Okay. And then we're going to do the pad of his foot here and just kind of echo the shape of the foot with that pad, yeah? So it's narrow at the bottom and a little wider at the top, kind of like so. Okay, oops, you know what? That foot is way too small for our big bunny, so I'm going to try that again. I got wrapped up in the shape of the foot and didn't pay attention to how big it ought to be for our rabbit. All right, let's make it a little bigger. Let's push it out this way a little bit. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's maybe a little more appropriate for the size of our bunny, huh? All right, so we're going to echo this shape again. Try this again. There we go. All right, how's your bunny coming out there? You guys doing good? Did you mess up your foot like I did? All right. Give myself a reference point for the top of this toe and the bottom of his heel right there. And let's go ahead and give this a whirl. If I were smart, I should have started on the left instead of the right, and then I wouldn't have to be looking under my hand to see what I drew, huh? Oh well. All right. Toes. And I kind of like to work from both sides so that I feel like I get the shape a little bit better. You know, start at the top and do a little bit, start at the bottom and do a little bit, and then kind of meet in the middle. Sometimes I feel like that helps me to get things in proportion a little bit easier, but you do what works for you. You know, one of the great things about art is there's more than one way to get the right answer, so to speak. And I kind of love that. So we each can find our own way that works for us and still get something that looks good in the end. So, there we go. All right, what do we think? How we doing out there? Okay, adjust the shape here a little bit of my hand. It got kind of erased. Tighten that up just a little bit, I think. Okay. So then from his toes here, we're going to add like a little section of leg that you can see. So just a curved leg from this toe to his arm. And we'll do roughly the same thing over here. We'll go from the middle of this toe back that way. And there you'll have like maybe his thigh or a little bit of his body that you can see. Okay? All right, then we're going to come back up and we're going to add the fuzzy part of his belly and his chest here. So we're going to start kind of coming out of his chin a little bit. And we're going to do just a little bit of a curve and then dip in and curve back out and dip in and curve back out and connect to the egg. And then we're going to try to repeat that over here. Okay, so we're going to curved line out, zigzag in, curve back out, again zigzag in and curve back out and attach to the egg. Okay, clean up that egg just a little bit. How you guys doing? You doing okay out there? All right. So now let's maybe go ahead and decorate our egg. And of course you can make your egg look however you want to. You certainly don't have to match mine. But I think I'm going to start with a little stripe at the top. So here's a little trick on making things look three-dimensional. Instead of making your lines just straight across like this, we're going to curve them a little bit, okay? So find a place to start. You're going to dip down a little bit, curve at your line, and then curve back up to touch the edge, yeah? So you're going to angle back up. All right, I'm going to do a fairly thin line to start with here. So a thin stripe. Again, echo that curved line that you just made. So echo your shape, okay? And then I'm going to make a little wider stripe. So I'm going to come down And again, echo the shape. But we're going to flatten it out just a little bit here. So you get to the center of the egg, you know, it's not going to be quite as deep of a curve as when you're at the top. And then I'm going to do another thin stripe right here, again, just echoing the line that I did. Okay. And then I'm going to leave a wide section in the middle, and I'm going to come down here and repeat that pattern at the bottom of the egg. Okay, so I'm going to curve. Oops. I got a little close to the bottom. That's all right. We'll make it work. And there's our little strip right there. Okay, so in these areas, I'm going to do kind of a dot pattern. So I'm going to draw some circles right here. And a little trick to making your pattern look like it's continuing off the edge of the egg or around the backside is to do just a little semicircle at the edge and let it connect to the edge of the egg. So kind of like that, yeah? All right, then we're going to do the same thing down here at the bottom. Oh, Janie, I see you left me a comment. What'd you say there, hun? Ah, good thing no bunnies. Perfect. I like that. Cute. Good Easter pun there. All right. So we're going to do this little dot pattern down here at the bottom. Again, maybe a little smaller because I crowded the bottom of my egg a little bit. And if you do something like I did there, no worries. Just go back, erase, and fix it if you want to, or just roll with it. You know, nothing wrong with that. And again, I'm going to repeat my little half circles kind of at the edge so it looks like my pattern's rolling around the sides of the egg. Okay. All right, then in the middle here, I'm going to do a flower. You know, big surprise. You know me, you know I love flowers. So I'm going to do a cute little daisy-ish type flower here in the middle, okay? So I'm going to start with the center of my flower and just do kind of a circle, okay? And then we're just going to do some really simple curved petals to attach. And again, I like to work from both sides and connect in the middle. You do what works for you, okay? And just kind of try to evenly space as you work your way around. If one petal gets too big, no problem. Just erase it and make it a little smaller, right? All right. I'm going to adjust a little bit. That petal got a little bit wonky. All right. There we go. Hey, cute little flower. All right. And now I'm going to add some leaves on mine. And I think I'm going to start at the tip of this petal. And I'm going to do kind of a curved line, dip in and bring it to a point, okay? And then at the tip of this other petal, I'm going to dip down and then curve up to match the point on the other edge of the leaf, okay? And then where these two petals come together, I'm going to bring the vein of the leaf out of there. I'm going to echo the top and then curve like that, okay? I'm going to darken this edge of the petal so it doesn't get lost, okay? And then we're going to repeat the same thing kind of over here on this side. Okay, so we're going to curve, dip, point, and bring it back over here. And again, if it's easier for you to work from this petal out, that's fine, nothing wrong with that. And again, we'll bring the vein of our leaf out this way. Okay, you know what? I'm not real happy with how that petal and that leaf sticking together, so we're gonna adjust. There we go. I'm liking that maybe a little better. How's yours coming out there? You guys doing okay? Hope you're having fun with it. Relaxing, not taking it too seriously. Just having a good time. Okay. Well, there we've got our little Easter bunny and an Easter egg. So now I'm thinking maybe a basket and a tulip. How's that sound? Okay, well, let's maybe start with our tulip first. Okay, so I'm going to start with the petals first. I'm going to put them kind of out here in this area. Now then I'm going to work back to the bunny for the stem and the leaves, okay? You make yours as big or as small as you want to, but I'm going to make my tulip kind of on the big side because, you know, I don't know, I just feel like going big. So I'm going to start with the center petal first, and we're going to make kind of a teardrop shape, so to speak, that kind of points at a diagonal. So roughly like this. Oops. Here we go. And around that way. Okay. Here we go. Okay, give you a second, give that a try. And then from there, we're going to do a petal on each side. And it will be kind of like you're looking at the a side view of those petals rather than straight on, okay? So they're going to have a little bit of a different shape. So we're going to start at the edge of this petal where it starts to narrow, okay? And instead of going this direction, we're going to pull off to the side, to the right, and kind of curve around this way, okay? And then I'm going to come back to the bottom of the tulip. I'm going to extend to the right, and then we're going to curve up and connect with that little tip right there. Okay? I'm going to flatten that out a little bit. I'm not real happy with that tip. There we go. It's a little better. Okay, and then we're going to see if we can repeat that on the other side. So we'll just kind of do it backwards, so to speak. Okay, I'm going to adjust that just a little bit. All right, so over here where the first petal starts to turn to the narrow point, right at that joint, you're going to flip your line to the left towards the bunny's ear, flatten it out, and dip down. And we can go back and adjust that later if you're not real happy with it, so don't stress if you don't get it right the first time, okay? And then we're going to come off the bottom of the tulip again. We're going to curve up and then flip back out to meet that point of that petal, okay? And I feel like that needs to be a little wider, so I'm going to pull that out here just a little further and then erase that first line. And maybe pull this up just a little bit. So feel free to adjust. If you're not happy with that petal shape to start with, it's all right. Just try it again. Okay. Here we go. All right, so then we're going to do the two petals at the back here. So we're going to do just a couple of little points. Okay, so we're going to do one roughly here. I'm going to curve the tip to the left a little bit and pop that back around. And then on this one, I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to pull that tip to the right and then back around. What do you think? Is it starting to look like a tulip? Hope you're having some fun with this. All right, so then the next thing we're going to do is start to add the base and the stem to our tulip, okay? So we're going to do kind of a half circle kind of at the bottom of our tulip like this, okay? And then from there, we're going to pull our stem, okay? So we're going to start with that semicircle right there and just connect to it and pull that stem off, and we're going to pull it back towards our little bunny over here, okay? Kind of like so. And then we're going to repeat that on the other side and get a little more narrow with that stem, okay? And then we're going to look at adding some leaves, okay? And tulips are going to have some longer, skinnier leaves than most flowers, or some flowers do maybe. So we're going to curve this way and get kind of pointy on the end. And then we're going to start to echo that shape a little bit, but widen it up as you come back down. Okay, so something like that. And then we're going to put a line through the middle for the vein of our leaf. Okay, and then we're going to do something similar over here, and maybe this leaf is going to kind of curve up this direction. Echo your shape, but get a little bit wider as you come down. like so, and then put the vein of your leaf down the middle. Okay? How you doing out there? How's your bunny and your tulip coming along? Hope you're doing well and having a good time. I'm going to darken some lines here just a little bit. All right. Should we look at an Easter basket? What do you think? All right. So let's see. I think I'm going to have that basket kind of sitting behind our bunny just a little bit. So I'm going to start with an oval shape for the opening of the basket. And part of that oval is going to disappear behind the bunny. And we're also going to eventually erase the backside of this oval. So be real light as you're drawing it, okay? So roughly kind of like that. And we're going to disappear behind our bunny a little bit. Okay? And then from the edge of this oval, we're going to do the bottom part of the basket. Okay, so this is like the opening of the basket. So now we're going to do the bottom side. And we're going to come out. We're going to bow out a little bit, curve back down, flatten out the bottom a little bit, and then start to tip up just as you get close to the bunny. Okay? Kind of like so. All right, and then we're going to do the handle for the basket. So we're going to bring this up, and you can make your basket as small or as big as you want to. Don't feel like it has to be exactly like mine if you don't want it to be. Okay, bring this up, and as it gets close to the bunny, just let that line disappear, and then continue your shape though. Where might that line reappear, and draw that, okay? All right, then we're going to bring the handle of the basket inside our line just a little bit, and just echo your shape. And again, let that pop back out in between the bunny's cheek and his shoulder. Okay? Clean up any lines that you need to if you got a little sketchy or a little wonky someplace. And then I'm going to go ahead and erase. Okay? I'm going to put a little bit of a lip on my basket here to kind of curve that line just a little bit. Here we go. And then we're going to put a little bit of a pattern on our basket. And you can do some squares on there if you want to, so you could make some vertical and some horizontal lines, but I'm feeling a little bit of a diagonal at the moment. So I'm going to do some diagonals with mine, and I'm going to make them curve a little bit to, again, help show the shape of the basket. Okay, so we're going to start up here in the corner, curve out, and then we're going to dip back in just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a real drastic curve. Just enough to kind of help show that maybe that basket's got some dimension and it's a little bit rounded. Okay? And then we're just going to echo that line and work our way across. Try to keep your lines evenly spaced. Okay? And maybe the hint of one more right here at the corner. Okay? And now we're going to repeat that going the other direction. So we're going to curve this way. And again, you want these lines to be about as evenly spaced as the other lines were. Try to keep them the same distance. And then when you go to color this, you can kind of alternate your diagonal pattern or your diamonds that it creates, and maybe that'll help show kind of a weave in your basket. Does that make sense? All right. Just like that. Okay, I think I'm going to make this just a little wider right here. It's looking a little bit funny. All right. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and erase this back edge of my basket, and we're going to put some Easter eggs in here, so you're not actually going to see that back line when we're all done, okay? All right, so to do your eggs, we're just going to do like the top part of the egg, so this pointed part right here, but we're going to make them smaller than this one, okay? So they look like they actually will fit in the basket, okay? All right, so I'm going to start kind of maybe right here at the bunny's elbow, and I'm going to start with the ones in the front first, okay? And you can make yours point whichever direction you want them to point. You can make them alternate, Whatever makes you happy, okay? So we're going to start with one that direction, and then I think I'm going to do one that maybe points off to the side just a little bit more. So maybe the bunny was in a bit of a rush and the eggs didn't want to stand up straight, so they're not all lined up nice and neat. They're just a little, you know, helter-skelter maybe. Okay, I'm going to do one that kind of points this direction. Again, narrow at the top, widen it up as you get back towards the middle. Okay, and then in between those two, I'm going to do just a smaller curve right here. So maybe there's an egg that's kind of hiding between those two. Okay, how you doing out there? All right, then in the back, we're going to do some eggs that connect to the ones in the front. Okay, so these front eggs are going to overlap the back ones. You know what? We're going to time out a second. We're going to add one right here too. I feel like we need the tip of one right there maybe. All right. So with these, then we're going to kind of offset our eggs just a little bit. So I'm going to start one right at the tip of this short egg, and it's going to come up this direction. Whoops, maybe got a little bit too big there. Point to the side, like that. I'm going to erase my little mistake there. Whoops. There we go. All right. And then I'm going to do the hint of one right here that maybe disappears behind the handle. Okay. And then let's see, let's do another one that's maybe a little shorter right through here. And then another one that maybe points off to the side, kind of there. And maybe a short one right there. Okay, and maybe the hint of another one that's kind of pointing to the left right through there. Okay, and you can make your basket as full as you want to or as empty as you want to. I think I'm going to add just a couple of more and then we'll call that good. How's yours coming, guys? I hope you're doing well and having fun. Okay, and then these eggs, of course, you can go ahead and decorate too. Maybe you want to do some squiggly lines through them. Maybe you want to repeat the dot pattern on some of them that we did earlier. Just have some fun with it. Maybe some of them have flowers, maybe some have, well, maybe this one's got a zigzag. Okay, and then when you run into a line of your rabbit, just let that design fall off and disappear. Okay, darken that line so we don't lose it. Let's see. Maybe just some curved stripes on this guy back here. So just play with it a little bit, whatever sounds like fun. Maybe do some waves or something. Maybe some have bigger stripes than others. Okay, just play with it. Let's see, maybe another zigzag there. Maybe a big wave on this one. Another zigzag, whatever you want to do. And maybe some of them you want to leave plain too, that's okay. Nothing saying they all have to have stripes or decorations or anything on them, huh? All right, well, how you doing out there, gang? I hope your bunny's coming along well. Well, what do you think? Do you want to do some coloring or y'all had enough here? Somebody type in the chat for me. Let me know what you want to do. Do you want to continue on? Or do you want to save it and color it another day? Okay, well, I tell you what. So I'm not getting any responses there. I think maybe we'll just call that good for today, and then you can kind of color it on your own if you want to, but give you just a few pointers. So here on the eye, this would be the black part of the eye, so of course you can shade that in. And if you want to make it look a little bit more realistic, you can leave like a little white spot right there that doesn't get shaded in when you do your coloring of the light or the colored part of the eye. So you could sure do that, okay? And then on your basket over here, I would kind of alternate how you color your diamond pattern. Okay, so maybe you have a darker shade of yellow that's going to be like these basket or these diamonds right here on your basket. Okay, and then maybe the other diamonds are a lighter color so that it creates the feel of a weave there for you. Like your basket's weaving. Does that make sense? In and out, okay? And then you could also add some grass blades kind of at the bottom if you wanted to, just to add a little dimension with maybe a green colored pencil or something. Okay. All right, maybe some little tufts of grass down here at the bunny's feet would be kind of fun. Maybe at the bottom of the egg too. Entirely up to you, okay? All right, well, I'm going to turn you around here a second. So hold tight. There you are. Hi there. All right, well, I hope you guys have had a great time. I've sure enjoyed hanging out with you for a little bit. Be sure to check back on my blog next Sunday. I'll post the next week's drawing theme on there. So it's ginakern.com/latest. There's a link there in the description of our video here. Okay, and if you're feeling brave and you're up for it, I'd love to see photos of your finished work. So if you want to just take a picture of it and add it in the comments, or maybe tag me in your post if you want to share it on your newsfeed, whatever you feel comfortable doing, but I'd sure love to see what you've done today. So, hey, thanks for hanging out with me. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.